G'day YouTubers, Steve from Vintage Restorations Australia here. In today's episode, we finally get that gearbox out. We continue with the chassis restoration, and we also remove and repair the agricultural drawbar. Here we are at the start of day 6, and we've got some parts all the way from England to play with.
One more go. 3, 2, 1. Down. Yep.
I'm just about to de-water the chassis rails. I'm going to use this big beast, this nice long prong. Like that roll everywhere. I'll use the same thing to squirt the rust converter ionizer up into the channel. Do that now. I'm just going to measure from there back to here so we know where this is.
Oh yeah, you want that flat face there because those tabs will be bent.
So that's
135 something.
1352.
And do it again the other side as well, just in case.
1354. It's not square, John.
I can't go that far. No, that's okay.
54.
Because this tube might not be square to the chassis when they do it in the tractor.
True enough. We also need a height through here.
Yeah. We run a flat bar off here and we measure the offset, and that's in the specs.
35 mil. Now we know set back where it's going to be and the drop where it's going to be.
Okay.
Two ways to get a cross member off, the right way and our way.
Yep, that's right. Here we are, lunchtime. Had a bit of progress. We've got the gearbox out of there. We've sprayed the ethanol through the chassis rails. Cut off that rear cross member. It's ready for that one to go on. And boys have done a fair bit of grinding and removed all the surface corrosion off this. So I've just got a few more bits to pull off. This is the agricultural drawbar that came off the cross member that we've just cut off. John's going to remove that from the remaining bit of the cross member, and we'll put it back onto the vehicle. These are all the drawbar parts, all broken down. They've been cleaned up with the wire brush, back to bare metal, and then treated with tannic acid. And then once that sort of cures and goes off, we'll give it an undercoat with a high build epoxy and then a couple of coats of paint. Welcome to the video. So now we've cut the ends off the chassis there, and it's all open. We're going to blow this up through the centre of it. It's just Galmet ionizer. It's basically just a tannic acid. Tannic acid reacts with the metal to passivate it or tie up the active site so you don't get any further corrosion. So this is the product we're going to use. I'm going to blow it in like I did with the ethanol a bit earlier with the air gun, and blow it all through the chassis rails and the outriggers and things. So I'm going to give that a go now. The end of day 6. We've made a little bit of progress. We've chopped off that rear cross member now. So I think next week we'll be looking at welding this on. We've taken measurements and things today so we know where it's got to go. So John will weld that on next week. A few bits and pieces like down here we've got to tonk out and repair. We're going to take that gearbox mount out and make it removable so we can take the gearbox in and out from underneath. So there's that gearbox that we popped out, it's just sitting there. We'll get that into the workshop soon and strip it down, do a bit of a rebuild, and of course the PTO attachment on the back there, we'll do a rebuild on all of that and see how it goes. So that pretty much sums up day 6. We had a few questions during the week as to why we didn't cut open the chassis and sandblast it and get in there. That's a pretty extreme treatment. If your chassis requires that, it's probably no good. You should probably look for another project. We just felt that the cleaning the chassis out with the high pressure water and then dewatering it and tannic acid. Tannic acid is a great product. It really does stabilise corrosion and prevents further corrosion. We might look at putting a bit of paint up through there, but realistically this is an electric car. It's not going to be doing deep water wading and serious off-road four-wheel driving or beach driving, that kind of stuff. So we think where we're at with the corrosion control in the chassis is pretty much what we need to do. Anyway, next week we'll continue on with the chassis. We'll weld that rear cross member on. We'll start work on that gearbox, stripping that down with the PTO on the back of it. And we'll also continue on with the diff rebuild and things like that. So John will be looking at those. So hope to see you next week. Ciao.